Well, hello there. Tom Green coming back at you with some experience design goodness. And today's goodness involves the use of the oddly named Scrim. Now, the Scrim is in the material design specification. You can see it in the imagery area of material.io. And basically what it does is it slides under the app bar and the status bar to give whatever's there a little bit more contrast or protect the text. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this exercise. So what we got here is a little interface. We got some text here, and we got the status bar up here at the top, and I've got a rectangle right here. Now the rectangle is going to be used as the scrim. And a scrim is traditionally, well, material design suggests that its height be 3 times the size of the app bar. So you're looking at approximately 156 pixels in height. Now what you're going to do with the scrim is you're going to select it, and then you're going to come over to the fill. Okay, you're going to fill it, and you're going to fill it with a gradient, just like that. And what you can now do is add the color. So if you want to have a dark black here, I can choose this to be black, and I can move the color up and down. You notice I can make it darker or lighter. Or if I want to have a lighter color, I can just move up and down the dark area here. But what you want to have is dark at the top. And they suggest that the midpoint, or that the opacity kind of starts around in here, about 3/10 of the way from the darkest color. But that's up to you. Remember, it's a specification, and specifications are made to be, well, basically amended to fit your needs. And then I'm going to set a white color here, and I'm just going to take this up to white. And I'm going to pull the opacity back, we'll say to about 20% right there. And now that I've done that, I can take this little thing here and I can just push the opacity up. You see, just like that. Okay. So now I've got the darkest area up in here and the lightest area up in here. And all you have to do now is slide the scrim under the content. And I can do that in the layers panel here. So if I select the scrim, you can see it's there. If I select that, it's there. So I'm just going to take the scrim, I'm going to slide it into the layer, and you can see that it's sitting on top. And I'm just going to move it up to the 0 point. There we go. Okay, so it's going to be 0, 0. And then I'll just slide it under the content. And I've got a bit of a scrim going here. Now, if you want to change it, it's no big deal. You can basically take your colors and change them. As you can see right here, I'm changing the opacity on the white, and I get rid of that distinct line there. So these things can be changed. So there you go. There's creating what's called a scrim. What a scrim is basically used for text protection. And it says in the spec that the gradient's opacity could be chosen based on the environment. Basically this image here, I want to give a little bit more contrast for the stuff in the app bar and the status bar. And gradients can be as low as 10 to 20% in some contexts, and in this case we took it to 0. But there you go, there's the purpose of a scrim. It's a really handy little technique to have, especially when you've got stuff up here that is really just sort of fading into the background or not distinct. If you want to add a little contrast to it, just add a scrim.